What do you want?
I may be a single parent with only one arm, but how does this affect you? You shouldn't have called off the engagement with my daughter because of this. It's just not fair. You need to apologize to my daughter. You show up unannounced at our home and you expect us to be the ones to apologize. You're crazy.
That's why we don't like single-parent households. You make ridiculous demands. I don't think that we're ever going to come to a mutual understanding. We're calling off the engagement. Yes, that's right. Please, leave our house now.
Mom, let's go. There's no point in us trying to persuade them to change their minds. What makes you think that they're more important than us, Melanie? I won't allow them to bully us like this. What is so wrong with growing up in a single-parent household? Take a look at this. Can you still say that you're better than us?
Where did you get these photos?
I won't let you deny any of this.
Trouble Busters!
My name is Melanie. I graduated college with a science degree and I have a thing for comics. Most people think that I'm a nerd because I studied science and because of the hobbies that I enjoy. And I really don't care what others think of me. When I was a college student, I would spend most of my time in a lab doing science experiments, and in my spare time, I would read comics. 3 of my favorite comic books are coming out next week. I'm so excited! Whenever a new comic book was about to be released, I'd get so excited that I'd stay up all night thinking about it.
Hey, Melanie. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Hi, Kevin. No, I didn't wait at all. I just got here. Plus, I was enjoying my new comic book. I feel relaxed now that I've read a few pages of my new book. I'm so happy to introduce you to my family today.
Do you get nervous when you see me?
Well, yes, a little. You're really good looking, so... I'm also a little nervous about you meeting my family for the first time. I'm sure that you're not nervous around me, though. You're always so cool.
You have nothing to be nervous about. I'm sure that your family will love me. Let's get going then.
I loved my boyfriend, Kevin. He was gorgeous, nice, and funny. He was perfect, and I was so lucky to be dating him. Kevin and I go to the same college and we're in the same grade. Appearance-wise, we look very different, but we really enjoy each other's company, and we can spend hours talking without either one of us getting bored. I was honored that he chose me as his girlfriend because I'm sure that he could have chosen to date a bunch of other girls instead of me. And to my pleasant surprise, Kevin recently proposed to me. Of course I said yes. I was over the moon. I couldn't believe that I was getting married to Kevin.
We really need to get going. I don't want to be late the first time that I'm meeting your family. I want to make a good impression.
You're right. Let's go. I was just lost in the moment.
That's so you. I like that about you. You make me smile. Oh, hey, it's Melanie.
Hi, Ellen. Long time no see.
Melanie? Who is this? I hope that you two aren't dating in secret.
Of course not. I'd never cheat on you, Kevin. I love you too much. This is Alan. We've known each other since we were little. And he's just a friend. You have nothing to worry about. There are no romantic feelings between us.
You don't need it to explain it in so many words. I think that your boyfriend gets the idea. Nice to meet you, Kevin. Same here.
Alan works as a prosecutor, and he's really good at his job.
Wow, that's amazing, man. You have a cool job. I'm gonna come to you if I'm ever in legal trouble. My job isn't as cool as it seems. It's very demanding and the hours are long. I see. I guess your job isn't as glamorous as it seems. So, how long have you guys been dating?
For a few years, and we're actually engaged now.
Oh wow, congratulations! That's super exciting! You'll invite me to your wedding, right?
Thank you, and of course you'll be invited to our wedding.
We're actually off to see Melanie's family now. I see. Enjoy the rest of your day then. Bye!
Thank you for coming all the way here to see me. Please, come in and make yourselves at home. Mom, this is Kevin. I know I've told you so much about him already. He's good-looking, don't you think?
Nice to meet you. You have a lovely home.
Thank you. Mom, is something the matter? Oh, it's nothing, Melanie.
Melanie? What happened to your mother's arm?
Mom was in a terrible car accident a long time ago and she had to get her arm removed because of a serious injury. My dad was in the same car and he died from the accident. I was still really small at the time and my mom had to raise me all by herself. I was lucky that I only lost an arm. It could have been much worse for me. My husband tried to protect me and that's part of the reason why he's no longer with us. I owe him so much.
I had no idea that your family's been through so much. I'm so sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry that I never told you about this. It's not something that I want to remember, so let's change the subject.
You're right. Let's do that.
Why don't we all sit down and get to know each other more over some tea or coffee? The rest of the day went well, and I was finally able to introduce Kevin to my mother. But there was one thing bothering me. When my mother saw Kevin for the first time, she acted in a strange way. She almost seemed shocked. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The following week, it was my turn to meet Kevin's family for the first time. I was more nervous than when Kevin met my mother. What if his family didn't approve of me? Nice to meet you. My name is Melanie. I've been looking forward to meeting you today. Kevin may have told you already, but I have a passion for science and comic books.
Melanie, why don't we go inside now? You don't need to go into much detail about your unique hobbies.
You're right. I have a tendency to ramble when I'm nervous.
Well, Melanie, please come in. We've been looking forward to meeting you too.
I don't know why, but Melanie's parents didn't seem too happy to see me. Did they not like the fact that their son was engaged to a nerd like me? Or was it because I wasn't pretty? I hope that they didn't disapprove of me already. I was even more nervous now, and I felt pressured to make a good impression.
Kevin tells me that you grew up in a single-parent household.
Yes, that's right. I lost my father in a car accident when I was still a small child. So my mother had to raise me on her own. I don't think it was easy, so I'm very grateful to my mother. And I hear that your mother has an artificial arm. I didn't understand how my mother's artificial arm was relevant. Is this true? Yes, it's true. My mother was also injured in the same car accident that killed my father. I felt that Kevin's parents were being very cold and rude to me.
Melanie's mother is a single parent with a single arm. Isn't that hilarious? I feel so bad for your family. Living in a single-parent household must suck big time. When I saw your mother's artificial arm, I had to stop myself from gagging.
What?
That is a funny story. You must be thrilled that you're marrying into a rich family then. And my wife and I are in perfect shape too. We won't be a burden like your mother. I must say that we live in completely different worlds. I've never been in contact with a single-parent family.
Kevin, what do you see in Melanie? You two seem to have nothing in common.
I'm sorry to startle you like this, Mom and Dad.
Kevin, I've never seen you like this. We're just being honest here. You were raised by a single mother who only has one working arm. I'm sure that she wasn't able to raise you well with the lack of resources.
Are you marrying our son for his money? I'd say you're quite crafty.
Actually, I'm really not.
And get this, Mom and Dad. Melanie is dying to marry me. Isn't that so funny?
Hold on a second, Kevin. You were the one that proposed to me.
Huh? I never did that. You're delusional. I may have suggested marriage, but only because you were so desperate to marry me. I didn't mean it seriously. It was a joke. You're so stupid for thinking that a hot guy like me would fall for a dork like you. I find this all to be very hilarious. Melanie's so gullible, she takes it seriously even when I'm making fun of her. I guess Melanie's not as smart as she seems.
I feel sorry for Melanie. She was raised by a cripple. No wonder she turned out this way. I can't let Kevin marry a loser like Melanie. No way. I wouldn't want my grandchildren to be born with a disability that she inherited from Melanie's side of the family.
I'm in complete agreement on that. And there's no way that Melanie was given a proper education. It's not possible to raise a child properly with only one parent available. I wouldn't want Kevin to end up with a woman like her. I agree with you, Mom and Dad. I'm gonna call off the engagement.
How can you say that, Kevin? You're being really irresponsible. Besides, my mother wasn't born without a hand. She lost her arm in a car accident, and it wasn't her fault. It makes no sense for you to say that my mother could pass on a disability to her grandchild.
We know that. It was just a joke. See, you just don't seem to get jokes. But I don't want to be in-laws with a person that has an artificial arm. It's embarrassing. Anyway, I'm calling off our engagement, and that's that.
Can't believe that you're doing this. I thought that you were a nice guy. I really am an idiot.
Oh, don't cry. It makes you look pathetic. When you cry, it makes you look even uglier.
Don't cry. It makes Kevin look like a bad guy when he clearly isn't. Shame on you. Don't assume that crying will make the situation any better.
You should be happy that Kevin even considered marrying you, even if it was his mistake for thinking so. Yes, that's right. I'm so out of your league. I wish I could take back all the time that I wasted on you.
Kevin has a point. You should be grateful to him.
There are your manners. I'd appreciate it if you could show me your gratitude. I guess a single parent can't raise a child properly after all.
I've had enough. I'm leaving now. I left Kevin's house in tears. Once I got home, I told my mother about everything that had happened. Then my mother told me something unbelievable. I can only imagine the things that Kevin and his family said to you. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I don't think that I'll be able to trust anyone again anytime soon after what happened with Kevin. I'd rather stay single for the rest of my life and daydream about being married to my favorite comic characters if heartbreak is this tough. When I first met Kevin, he looked a little familiar, which is why I was stunned. I didn't think that his family was evil. They should be punished for all the bad things they've done up until now. I'm going to get you the justice that you deserve. What are you going to do, Mom? What are these? You'll find out soon. Will you take me to Kevin's house now? Are you sure that's a good idea, though? Yes, we need to go see them now. Let's go. I'm not sure that I want to see them again. They're a mean bunch. But my mother gave me no choice. I was going back to Kevin's house again.
Who is it?
I'm sorry to bother you so late at night. I came to see your parents.
Melanie, what are you doing here again, and why did you bring your mother? What do you want? How dare you come to our house unannounced?
Melanie told me about everything that happened today, and I'm here to set the record straight. I may be a single parent with only one arm, but how does this affect you? You shouldn't have called off the engagement with my daughter because of this. It's just not fair. You need to apologize to my daughter. You show up unannounced at our home and you expect us to be the ones to apologize. You're crazy.
That's why we don't like single-parent households. You make ridiculous demands. I don't think that we're ever going to come to a mutual understanding. We're calling off the engagement. Now get out of our house. Yes, that's right. Please, leave our house now.
We're not leaving until you apologize to Melanie. Mom, let's go. There's no point in us trying to persuade them to change their minds. What makes you think that they're more important than us, Melanie? I won't allow them to bully us like this. What's your problem? We just met and you're shouting at us and trying to tell us that your daughter is better than our son? Well, you're wrong.
Huh, I can see the family resemblance. You two are so alike.
What is so wrong with growing up in a single-parent household? Take a look at this. Can you still say that you're better than us? Say something, you fools!
What are these? Where did you get these photos?
I don't believe this. I won't let you deny any of this. You were the ones that crashed into our car 20 years ago and killed my husband. I can sue your family with these photos. What? You knew who did this to us? How come you didn't say anything to me about this before? Well, I didn't know who the criminals were until I met Kevin the other day. Kevin was still a young child at the time, but I remember his parents carrying him in their arms the day of the accident. When Kevin came over to our house the other day, I recognized him instantly. But because I knew that you were in love with him, I tried to forgive his parents' crimes. When Melanie came home crying, saying that you had mistreated her today, I couldn't let you get away with messing with our lives anymore. You deserve to be punished. Can't believe that you were the ones that murdered my beloved husband. I won't allow you to bully Melanie on top of that. I won't ever forgive you.
Mom? Dad? Is this true? It is true that I caused the car accident when you were small, and we knew that the driver of the car that we hit was killed in the accident. But we reported it to the police, and they told us that it wasn't our fault. You can see the police report from the day of the accident if you don't believe me.
That's right. It was an accident. It wasn't our fault. The case was dismissed due to lack of evidence. She can't try to blame us on us now. It was a very long time ago, too.
We could sue you for calling us criminals. You're only using the photos to try to get back at us for what happened with Melanie earlier. None of this is our fault. We have no responsibility over your husband's death. Stop trying to make us look like the bad ones here. It's quite possible that your husband was the one that was driving recklessly.
Now, could you please leave? We don't want to continue talking to you anymore. It's a waste of our time. We never want to see either of you again. Now leave us alone. Mom, don't ever forget the faces of these evil people. I'm going to make sure that they're punished for their crimes. I was shocked to find out the truth about my father's car accident. I knew that my mother was not one to lie. My mother is usually very reserved, so it must have been very hard for her to confront Kevin and his family today. After hearing the new information about my father's accident, I began to remember some things about my father. I had a memory of the time I was taking a walk with my father in our neighborhood.
Melanie, I'm going to tell you something very important. You should cherish the friends that you make because good friends are very rare. Also, you should follow the rules of society so that everyone can live together in harmony.
Okay, Dad. My father was a man of few words, just like my mother, and so I knew that when he wanted to tell me something, it was usually pretty important. He never raised his voice and was always kind, and he wouldn't break any rules that would cause trouble for someone else. I don't think that he was the type of person to engage in reckless driving. I couldn't let Kevin and his family make fun of my family any more than they already did. It's getting late. We should get to bed now. Today didn't turn out to be what I expected at all. I thought that we'd be celebrating your engagement to Kevin. So sorry this happened to you, Melanie. It's okay. I'm glad that I was able to see Kevin's true colors before it was too late. Would you mind showing me those photos from the day of the accident again? Sure, here they are. I want to see if there's any information in them that we've missed. I'm not sure that you'll be able to find anything, though. I've looked at all these photos a million times already. Give me some time and I'll let you know what I find. I was right! I found evidence which proves that Kevin's parents were responsible for Dad's death. Explain it to me, Melanie. I need a little more time to prove Dad's innocence.
Melanie, nice of you to call. What's up?
I need your help with something, and it's really important. I'll give you the details when we meet in person.
Okay, sure. Where do you want to meet?
I met up with Alan and told him everything about Kevin and his family and the car accident which took place 20 years ago. Alan agreed to help me prove my case using the evidence that I'd gathered. A few days passed, and Alan and I were able to unravel the mystery surrounding the car accident. I now was able to prove my hypothesis. I wasn't going to let Kevin and his family get away with this. Troublebusters.
What do you want now? We asked you not to show your faces at our house anymore. Or are you here to apologize to my parents for calling them criminals to their faces?
I don't think that's why they're here. They probably want us to pay them money for calling off the engagement. That's gotta be it.
I can't believe these people. They're so greedy.
That's not why we're here. I'm here to prove my father's innocence.
Is that really necessary? We're really busy right now. Now get off our property.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving until I tell you what I came here to say. Today is the last time that I'll be coming to see you. You won't have to see me after today.
Well, hurry up and tell us what you came here to say.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the new information I found regarding the car accident which killed my father.
It was 20 years ago and we've all moved on. Is this really necessary?
Why do you need to involve us for something so personal? To us, that accident is resolved. Evidence is in the photos. I don't care if you sue me if you think that what I'm about to tell you is incorrect. I just want to be given the opportunity to explain what I found out.
Okay, fine. But we'll sue you if you lie to us about this.
Yes, go ahead. Now let's begin. Take a look at the presentation materials that I've prepared.
When did you find the time to do all this?
I've been compiling data and analyzing it.
Okay, whatever.
Take a look at this photo.
Where was this taken?
The photo of the car that your father was driving on the day of the accident. The second photo shows the car that my father was driving on the same day. If you look at the other photos, you can see that my father swerved out of his lane into the opposite lane. That was what caused the two cars to crash in the first place.
So you're saying that this was your father's fault, right? You've made your point, so you can leave now.
I haven't gotten to my point yet. Take a look at the marks that the tires made on the street.
What do the fire marks tell us? I don't get it.
In this photo, you can see tire marks the accident left on the street. My father steered to the right, and that was where his tire marks show. Your father steered to the left, which is also what his tire marks show. My father steered right, and your father steered left.
What's your point?
Yes, get to the point. We're tired of listening to you talk. Shut up and listen to what Melanie has to say. What I'm trying to say is quite simple. My father was driving in the opposite lane, which is why he should have steered to the left to go to the other lane. And Kevin's father should have steered right if it wanted to avoid crashing into my father's car. And that would mean that both cars would end up driving in the same direction. And there's a high chance that they would crash when the two cars meet. My father was in the opposite lane and Kevin's father was in the correct lane when the two cars crashed. Which means that initially my father was driving in the correct lane and Kevin's father in the wrong lane. Just sounds like you're making this all up so the story ends up being more convenient for you. I'm still not convinced. My logic is correct and there's no other possible explanation. Another factor to consider is the speed at which each car was going at.
But how can you tell the speed of the cars from the photos alone?
Well, the tire marks tell how fast each car was going. My father's car drove in reverse while Kevin's father's car was moving forward. It was a coincidence that both of our father's cars were driving the same type of car. There might have been small differences like the weight of the passengers and the amount of gas in the car, but the size and weight of each car was roughly the same.
That makes sense.
If two similar cars crash at the same speed, both cars should come to a stop at the time of the crash. This is a scientific fact, so I'm not wrong about this.
I still don't understand what you're trying to say here, though.
But that's not what happened here. There's a high chance that you were driving your car past the speed limit. This is the hypothesis that I came up with. It's in line with what my mother told the police after she was in the car accident with my dad. Kevin's father was speeding, and he went into the opposite lane as well and crashed into my father's car. It was Kevin's father who was engaging in reckless driving, not my father. You killed my loving father!
That's not at all what happened. I'm innocent. Stop telling everyone these vicious lies. There wasn't enough evidence to prove any of this. I didn't do anything wrong. The case was dismissed, remember?
Can't we just put this behind us? There's no point in talking about it now. I'm someone who lost their father, and I want to know the truth about what happened on that terrible day.
But why involve us? You don't need to do this to us. You're wasting our time. You can't convict my father of something that happened decades ago. That's right. You may have had fun looking into the past, but there isn't anything that you can do about it now.
You can try to blame us, but the law is on our side.
I'd like to step in here as a prosecutor to let you know that it is still possible for Melanie and her mother to indict your husband for his crimes. Who the hell are you? You're Melanie's friend, the prosecutor. Nice to see you again, Kevin. I'm Melanie's childhood friend, and as Kevin just mentioned, I work as a prosecutor. I've come to support my friend Melanie today in proving her case.
You're a prosecutor?
I've verified the information that Melanie has given me regarding the car accident which killed her father, and I found tons of valuable new evidence. I found out that you bribed the prosecutors and police at the time to make it look like Melanie's father caused the accident. Well, you should have also asked them to sign a confidentiality agreement so they couldn't talk about what happens in their family, because it seems that the people in question told their children, and that's how I found out about the bribery. I interviewed the police officers that were in charge of investigating this car accident. Most of them felt that the final judgment on the case didn't make sense. The police officers that I interviewed are retired now, and since it's been over 5 years since you bribed them, they won't be charged for their crimes anymore. So now, they're willing to admit to all the wrongdoings that happened at the time of the accident. They broke their promises to me!
Now it's clear that my father was not responsible for the car accident. He was a victim. You murdered my father and tried to get away with it by bribing the people involved.
Does it really matter? It was a long time ago.
I knew that you were not a person to engage in reckless driving. I wish we'd found out the truth sooner.
Dad, how could you do this? Even for you, this is a new low. And what you did is terrible. You're not the man that I thought you were. I did what I had to do to protect my family. You'd understand how I felt when you have a family of your own. Melanie's father was already dead. I couldn't do anything to save him, so I thought that the next best thing to do was to save my family. He was dead, so it wouldn't matter whether he was guilty of the crime or not.
How can you say that? You killed my husband. He didn't do anything wrong. Why did he have to die a criminal? And what about Melanie? She grew up without a father. It was really difficult for the both of us to get over his death. I'm crippled because of what you did. I could have had an easier life if it weren't for that accident which you caused.
Melanie, I'm so sorry for what my evil father put you through. Your family didn't deserve any of it. Would you still consider marrying me? I realize now that my family is a fake. I'd like to start a new family with you if you'd still have me.
No way in hell I'd marry you. You sided with your family when you should have stood up for me. You're no better than your father.
I'm really sorry.
Yes, me too. I thought you were a better person than this. I'm really disappointed in you.
I'm so mad at myself for ruining this. You should have taken better care of Melanie when you had a chance. Shut up! You're one to talk.
I want a divorce. I'm leaving my husband, so you can't hold me responsible for what happened today.
Could have gotten my dad to do the right thing, but you looked away and let him commit a crime? This is all your fault as much as it is his. That's right. You can't divorce me just because things have become rocky. I won't approve of the divorce. What a family.
So sick and tired of listening to them whine like this. Yes, let's be on our way. There's no point in us staying here any longer. Yes, let's go.
I'm sure that you're not even listening to me, but we plan to re-prosecute this case.
With Ellen's help, I was able to bring the new evidence to light. Kevin's parents were charged because they knew the truth about what had happened, yet they kept quiet about it and blamed my father of the crime. The court ordered Kevin's parents to pay us for all the damages that they caused us, and the amount was considerably large. Money wouldn't bring back my father, but my mother and I felt like we'd given him some justice.
I'm so glad that we were able to re-prosecute your father's case. Just wouldn't have been fair for Kevin's family to get away with what they've done to your family.
We couldn't have done it without your help, Alan, so thank you.
What are friends for, right? Besides, you were the one that noticed the details in those photos.
I guess we make a pretty good team then. You really do, and I think you'd make an even cuter couple. Alan, do you happen to be available?
I'm totally available. I've been without a girlfriend for a long time. I've always had a crush on Melanie, but I'm not sure that she feels the same way.
Actually, I wouldn't mind. We really do get along really well, so...
Then, do you want to go see a movie with me this weekend? As my date?
I'd love to! My life took a turn that was totally unexpected, but I was grateful to have Alan in my life. He helped clear my father's name, and through my hardships, I realized that he may be the person that I'm meant to be with. I never imagined that Kevin's father was the one that killed my father, and that this would all lead to my engagement being called off. I was lucky that I didn't end up marrying the wrong person, and I'm glad that I looked into my father's case once more. I was wise to trust my instinct that my father was not the type of person to break the rules and cause harm to anyone else. Troublebusters.